Well, hello everyone. It is right at this moment, late Saturday night. I'm staying up because they said we're going to have snow flurries and nothing yet. So I figured I might as well do this while I'm awake and waiting. So it's been a long week and I have a whole bunch of stuff to show you. So get a snack, get your coffee, I don't know, some popcorn, something to hold you over while we do this. So, I have two markets coming up, one on Friday night and one on Saturday during the day. The Saturday market is the Farm and Quilt Show, and the one on Friday night is the first Friday of the month market. So I have been like busting my butt trying to make items to fill up my little basket shelves. So most of my stuff that I made most of it's 20 and under. But I needed it. It was like I'm taking things that normally sit on the table and putting them up in the baskets so the baskets don't look empty. So I really needed to do this. It's not as fun to do as some of the other things, but we needed to do it. So not in any particular order. We're just going to get started, and I have a basket sitting here on the floor that I'm going to put these in after I show them to you to clear off the desk. And in case you didn't notice, you're at a different angle again today. Friday, I decided to give my hands a break, which was yesterday. And my yarn was such a mess. I'm like, I need to fix my yarn. I can't tell what I have, what I don't have. So I pretty much kind of like put this room out into the living room and dining room and rearranged it. And what a pain in the butt those shelves are. I mean, it's nice because you can configure it however you want, as long or as tall or have a big opening. But taking it apart and putting it back together again, oh my goodness. I'm here to tell you, my back hurt so bad by the time I got done yesterday, I was shot. So much for giving the hands a break. The rest of the body took the abuse. But anyways, one of the many things that we did this week was this little octopus. This is an All From Jade pattern. And it came with the octopus family, with the mom and the dad. You know, the mom where you can put the babies up inside. And it's also, you don't have to buy the pattern. It's free on her Instagram. But I made 7 of these in various colors. So this is what Brights calls purple. Bubblegum. Not mint, might be mint, kiwi, one of the blues, oops, twice, we got 2 on the floor, okay, and then an orange and a coral. So I need like a yellow and a blue, but if I don't get to it, I won't be disappointed because I have 7, plus I had 1 left in my display. So it gives me a total of 8 of those. Then, while we're on the topic of Instagram patterns, we did some rubber ducks, which I sold out of at the last market. This is a free pattern on Instagram by Amateur Hour. So we have the bright yellow, I think it's called lemon yellow. The lightest pink shade, which I believe is ballet pink. The kiwi. dark pink. If this was Parfait Chunky, it would be hibiscus, but I'm not sure what it's called in brights. The banana yellow, and the Perry the Platypus color. Whatever color that is. Whoops, one more. And one in shell. So that was 7. One more would fill my basket. 7 of the rubber ducks. And what else? What else? One other free pattern from Instagram here. Let me just double check. I have so much. So much. So we all know I like to make food. And lately I've been like really liking making the amusable Jellycat style. So we made this lemon, and it's a free pattern off of Instagram from, let me check these off my list, from kellycat.crochet. The rubber ducks were amateur hour. The octopus was all from Jade. So this, I actually used Naughty Pony yarn. And because I didn't have, at the time when I made this, I hadn't gotten into my premiere order with the Chanel Basics. So I didn't think I had a bright enough yellow. And even in the Parfait Chunky, my yellow wasn't quite right. So, but this was a nice bright yellow, and that is whatever green. Of course, you know, it doesn't have color names on it. And the brown is a Parfait Chunky color. So we did that. Very simple to do. I sewed the legs on. It gives you instruction to crochet them in. So if you did it the way the pattern said, the only sewing is attaching the leaf to the end of the lemon. So those were the free Instagram patterns that I did. So now I'm just going to go down the list, and however they come up is how they come up. So I have some tests here that I did. And then just regular patterns. So the next thing on my list, and I did not sit and do these all in one day. Well, I did most of them in one day. I think I had 3 days, bits and pieces, 3 days doing these. Pardon my reach. Okay, so we did some itty bitty demis. This is a pattern from Just a Mom Crocheting. And I tested the pink, but the pink that I did was this shade of pink. And I had just gotten this shade of pink in from Parfait Plush. So I was working with this, and I had a little bit of this left. And I got down to like, I only had, I think it was 22 stitches left and a yarn tail to sew the head on. And I thought I was going to lose yarn chickens. So I went and looked in my box. Another reason why this room needed to be straightened out. And I did have one skein that I ordered of this color. So I was able to finish. So we did 4 of these. 2 in this pink shade. And, excuse me, 6. 4 in this shade. So that's 6 demis in pink. I had I only got 1 of these done. I just forgot what I was going to say. So 1 gray, and this is a darker shade of gray. It's not the dark gray that I did because I don't have enough of that. Hang on. I don't have enough of the darker gray to make a whole one after trying to do the pink and almost running out of the pink. I was like, I am not going to waste my time. So 1 gray, which I would like to have some more. I may or may not get to it. I don't know. because we like to think that we are the Crochet Wonder Woman, but it doesn't always work out like that. And the wish, want, need list, whatever you want to call it, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can't do it all. I can't do it all. And 2 tan. So with these 2 tan, it gives me enough for my custom order that I have. And leaves me needing for the market. So I definitely have to make some more tan ones. So that was the Itty Bitty Demi from Just a Mom Crocheting. Going down the list may not have been a good idea. So one of the first things that I made is I got out the rat pattern from QB Crochet, and I did a possum. And then the next day I did another possum. So 2 possums. Now what had happened is I did one, I took it to market, it sold. So I made another one and I took it to market and it sold. First thing, like 3rd sale at the first market, 1st sale at the 2nd market. So I did 2. I would like to have 1 more and have 3 at least and see what happens. We'll see. If I don't get to it, it's no big loss. I do have 2, but I would like to be able to get to it. And it's the exact same pattern with the exception of just playing with the color. So, ooh. It's getting toasty in here. Yeah, I think it was the last I looked, it was 29 degrees outside. And my heater doesn't want to turn off. I had to go and actually physically turn off the heater because I was getting way too warm in here. Too warm. So then, this pattern is from Pammy Dolls on Etsy. And it is the Sitting Cat. So this yarn I bought specifically to make cats with because I thought maybe it would look like a tortie. And up until I made this, I've done everything but a cat using this yarn. And I was like, I need to make one, at least one, before I run out of the yarn. So I'm not sure if it looks like a tortie or not, but that was the intention when I ordered it. I mean, it's a pretty yarn. I like the yarn, but I think torties have like some darker colors in it. We'll see. So I made 1 Pammy doll. Whew. Then I'm definitely following how I have it written down is not the way to do this. Okay. One of the other items that has surprised me that's been selling rather well is the Capybara pattern from Hugurumi Toys. And the reason, I know I've said it before, but the reason I got this particular pattern was because it was made to have the eyes embroidered. And I needed stuff for my Safer for Baby section. So we got chocolate in finally in the chenille brights. Or not chocolate, caramel. This is chocolate. This is caramel. Caramel is what I've been waiting for. So we did 2 in that color scheme. Then I changed up and did steel cut oats with the caramel. Oh no, that's right. That's right. I'm thinking of something else. I thought I forgot his mouth. He doesn't get a mouth. He just gets a nose. So the steel cut oats and the caramel. And then I did one in rust with the chocolate. So 4, yeah. What are these? Capybara. 4 capybara. Oh, can you tell it's late at night? Whew. So this next one, is one that I shared with you guys last week. That's better. Okay, so this next pattern is one that I shared with you guys last week. I did a test for Rosa, me, and several other people. And so we made Reggie the Frog, took it to market. It sold at the first market. I'm like, yay. Is it possible that I finally have a frog pattern that my people will like? So we did one in green using Bernat Mystical. The yellow is Chenille Brights. And then one in that tabby color so that it looks like a toad with mushroom for the belly. And this is Reggie the Frog from Vaz, V-A-S-Q, boutique shop on Etsy. And of course, I'll have all the links down in the description. Oh, if I can do this without dropping everything, so that it's easy for you to find if it's something that you want to check out. So the next thing is just something that Heather and I were having fun with. And this has been on my list for quite a while. And Heather finally tried one. So she's showing me hers, which got me motivated to go ahead and move on down that list and get to it, especially since Valentine's Day is coming. And you know me, I am not a make a bunch of holiday type items person, but these will sell whether it is Valentine's Day, Christmas, Mother's Day, whatever. Doesn't have to be a holiday. It can just be an ordinary, everyday, ordinary day. And that is the rose turtle. Now, for me, it is a combination of several patterns. Only because I don't particularly care for the way... all right, let me go here. The flower part, the top half of the turtle shell, is Passionate Crafter. The head and the body and the way it is all assembled is all from Jade, her Tiana the Tiny Turtle. The flippers are, this shape came from Happy Turtle Crochet. Adding the extra stitches came from the Mathilda pattern. So this is like a hodgepodge of pattern pieces just worked in together. So we did one, and this is, I believe it's called Ruby Red in the Parfait Plush. It would be Rhubarb in Sweet Snuggles or Home Slim, one of those. But they turn out so pretty. And painted eyes. And this is Sage Green in the Parfait Plush. I used a 6mm hook. Then I decided, you know what? It doesn't always have to be a red rose. Why can't we have a pink rose? So this one, if you look at it, has more petals on it than this one. I got a little carried away. I lost track of what I was doing and just kept on going and going and going. But that's okay because, you know, it's handmade. It's all unique. So we have one red, one pink, and then my favorite rose color, yellow. One yellow rose. And I painted some yellow eyes for it. This lighting is not very good because it is nighttime. And with the rearranging, I haven't figured out how to do my lights yet. This one is kind of a blue eye. So anyhow. So 3 Franken turtles. I guess you could call them, because it's a combination of my favorite things out of the different patterns. But it's, you know, if the stitch counts line up, you can mix. I totally think you can mix. Okay. So that is Passionate Crafter for the flower part. She has a tutorial here on YouTube, or she has a PDF, of course, that you can purchase on Etsy, or I think she has a blog. You know, one of those where you got 500,000 ads popping up in your face type of blog. And then the other parts are Tiana the Tiny Turtle from All From Jade. Yep. And then up next is one that I just could not get motivated to make. So it was like, I'll make one today, I'll make one tomorrow, I'll make one the next day. Yesterday, because I was cleaning and organizing this room, I did not get one made. So I had to make two today. I was not thrilled. And it's not because this is a bad pattern. It's just I wasn't into the mood to make axolotls. Just didn't want to fuss with it. So this one, I don't think you can see it, especially in this lighting. But I've been trying to use up my Sweet Snuggles Light in my Home Slim. So like from the head, down the body, right till you get to the tail is Sweet Snuggles Light or Home Slim. Then the tail is mostly Parfait Plush, which I only have a little ball like this big of. So this, I had to mix the colors. And then this darker purple is also a Home Slim or Sweet Snuggles. I'm pretty sure it's Home Slim. And it has those moon eyes. They are kind of purple. So we have the purple. We have pink. And I'm going to end up having to order pink. You see all that yarn back there. And you'll be like, you don't need to order yarn for 3 years. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I need pink. So we got one in pink. And one in shell with... what's the name of that orange? Pumpkin? I think it's pumpkin. No, carrot. It's carrot. Carrot, orange, and shell. And one in blue. Parfait Plush. 6mm hook. So we made 4 axolotls. So that gives me like a total of 5. I don't remember the other color, but I could stand for a yellow and a green, and maybe the other shade of pink if I have enough. I don't know. But that is Swampy the Axolotl by Peach Puffin Patterns. That's a mouthful. Definitely a mouthful. Okay, we did the rubber ducks. Okay, so this next one I have written down is a pattern test. And this one, because I had the 2 markets last weekend, and then I got 2 markets coming up this coming weekend, I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to finish these in time. But when I got home Sunday, I didn't really do much, but on Monday, I decided, let me knock out these couple of tests that I have. So this is Stacy from Stacy Makes her pint size POW in the duck. Now, I'm not going to point out my mistake, but I messed him up. And was quite aggravated with myself about it. But I wanted to do another one, and I did it in the mallard version. That green is chartreuse. This is teddy bear, and whatever shade of yellow that the plush comes in. So I did 2 of these. Now it is no-sew. Yes, except for closing up the little behind hole. So you make your wings first and your legs, and then you're going to start from the beak and work your way back. The tail is done in the round. I think tail feathers are just the cutest things. It was not hard to do. I just made a big boo-boo and didn't realize it until I was almost done. And not to mention, I made him look kind of mean. In camera, he doesn't look mean, but when I look at him like this, he looks mean. He doesn't look mean there. He does here. But these are really cute. I don't think they sit. No, because then the head wouldn't look right. So they lay. They can, with the legs back, or it is designed for the legs to go forward, but you could do it either way. And it kind of just fits in the hand. And they're cute. She did a good job. And there's also a goose. I just didn't get a chance to do it. I was lucky that I got these two done. I'm telling you. When it rains, it pours. So thank you, Stacy, so much for including me in that test, even though I was very last minute with it. I appreciate the patience, that is for sure. The next one is also a test, which I had to wait till the last minute to do because of being at market. So this is another one that was like one of the first things on the list on Monday. And this is another monster from Amanda at the Eclectic Scribbles. You cannot see his eyes because of the lighting is awful. So sorry. He is done in Parfait Plush. And the color is Shell. This is Parfait Chunky because I wanted small horns in Mustard. So he is make the arms first, make the ears, make the horns. And then you're going to start with the feet and work your way up. Crochet the arms in. The head is crocheted on. You tie these in place. And the only thing you have to sew are the horns. And the nose, I saw Stacy, she also did this test and she was showing hers. She said her bobble stitches didn't show up very well and then she ended up embroidering a nose on top of it. So I thought I would be slick, and instead of doing a double crochet bobble, I did a triple crochet bobble, and he has quite the honker now. It is definitely very prominent on his face. Or her face. So I did not get to play with this pattern like I did the last monster pattern because I was so limited on time. But I did enjoy it very much. And it was very easy to do. And it has a very different look than the other guy. And yeah. So that is Amanda from the Eclectic Scribbles, I think. I'll have it linked on Etsy, and she is Amanda King here on YouTube. So thank you so much, Amanda, for letting me test again. I've been working my fingers to the bones. Okay, and the next one on the list is also a test. Now, this one I actually was able to do before I went to market, and I'm pretty sure it is released now. It is a pattern from Jenny at In My Spare Time Crochet, and it is her little Benny hamburger. Quite clever how she did it. It is no-sew. There is a lot of color changes, like you change from the mustard to the green for the lettuce, to the white or cream for the onion. You could even use purple if you have red onions, red for the tomato, yellow for the cheese, brown for the burger, and then back to the bun color. The arms and legs are crocheted in. And then you just stitch some sesame seeds on the top. Very clever pattern, very cute. And I like to make food. Now, the only thing that I would probably do different from this next time is not put the arms on it and use shorter legs so that it kind of goes with the other food, amusable, jelly cat type things I'm making. Only so that it blends in. I mean, it's fine like this, but just so that it blends in with like the other stuff I'm making, I would make those little changes. She also has a bigger burger, and I think it's called Biggie Burger. That is probably twice the size of this, if you need a big hamburger. This is almost like the size of a regular hamburger that you would make for yourself at home. Like, you could sit there and just bite into it. It's a good size. So it's like more realistic in size. Except for the arms and the legs, and hamburgers don't have eyeballs. So thank you very much, Jenny. I had fun making it. Super easy pattern to read. I had no issues at all. So thank you for letting me test. Okay, that was Benny Burger. And this next item was one that was on my hook that I hadn't finished. Because I ran out of time. So I wanted to get it finished, and I think I need to redo the nose. But it is a pattern from Shop Mod Threads, and it is a little bunny snuggler. We have Easter coming up, and I'm not sure if that's the reason why, but my last few markets, I have no rabbits left. I need some rabbits. So we have this one. So if anybody asks, I have one rabbit. But it, you make the ears first, set them aside, you make the head, sew the ears on, you set the head aside, you make the arms, then you start with the feet, join them, work your way up. The body is sewn to the head. And then you have to separately make the tail and sew the tail on. So, and of course, they show with safety eyes. I want them without safety eyes. So I did have to embroider some eyes, but something's not right about his nose. I was trying to do it the way theirs looked, and it didn't work. So then I tried it this way. Maybe I'll just take that out and just kind of go straight across. I don't know. Something's just not right about it. But I'll have to fix that before I take it to market. We just have a few more. Well, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more items. Okay, so the next one is also a test, and it is the elephant in the room. And if I mess up talking about this, it is all Heather's fault. Just putting that disclaimer out there, it is all Heather's fault. So, this was one I was able to, I had like 4 pattern tests like going on all at the same time. This was one that I was able to finish before I went to the markets, and it is Aspen. The tail on it is like really clever. It is like front post, back post, double crochet, gives it its nice texture. Don't be scared of that if you've never done it. It's very easy to do. Or you can just do plain old regular double crochet, but the texture feels really neat. Like little kids will really appreciate that texture. And this is no-sew. So I think now that my stitches have like relaxed a little, I got his head just a little bit crooked. It's fine. It's fine. He's cocking his head to hear you. But there's also a little branch or log that goes with this in the pattern, and it looks chewed on. So, yeah, I definitely got your head a little crooked. It happens. But yeah, this was fun. And it was another reason it was fun is because Heather was making hers at the same time. And we just kind of goof off together in our own little chat. So that is a Crafty Kate pattern. And it is newly released. And I believe it is now available on Etsy. And thank you, Kate, for allowing me to test. And I can't believe I made it through that and was able to keep a straight face. I am proud of myself. Okay, so now we're down to, like, this is what I did last night before I went to bed, and then some of the items that I did today, because I did do 2 demis today, 2 axolotl, and then some of these other ones. But before I went to bed last night, Heather and I were debating. And if you don't know who Heather is, that is Heather from Cottontail Crafts by Heather. We were talking about the rose turtle, and she was going to try it on Myrtle. And I was like, girl, we think too much alike, because I was thinking the same thing. It would be so much faster on that smaller turtle. And I go, you be the guinea pig. So she tried it. She did a couple of them and, doing different things with it. And it seemed like it was a little tall. Like, my pink one seems a little tall. So I was like, well, instead of doing the half double crochet like Passionate Crafter does, how about a back loop only single crochet for the shell, and then go back in and work the flower petals into the front loops of those single crochets. So it was late for her, so she went to bed last night. So I went ahead and tried it, and I like how it turned out. Now, it does take some time. This could not be a regularly priced Myrtle the Turtle. It would have to cost a little bit more. So I have to think on that. I need some regular myrtles. They don't all have to be fancy. But because we were talking about it, it was on my mind, so we had to figure it out. So we did that. Myrtle the Turtle is a Chastity and Designs pattern. And the flower petals was the same sequence that Passionate Crafter uses on her rose turtle. I know I'm confusing you guys. I am confusing you guys. So then today, after I finished my Demogorgons and my Axolotls, I was like, what do I want to make? I don't know. Well, the Saturday market is a farm market. So we needed some farm animals. And so I got out making the bacon, and we did some making bacon. The Making Bacon is my own pattern that is available on Etsy, and right now, starting Sunday when you see this, February 1st through the 28th, I will have my patterns on sale 15% off. So, yep, And I used the Bernat Mystical Pink Quartz on him. And he's so cute. Now this, I think the last time I made him, I did him yarn over and it came out really big. This time I did yarn under and they are much smaller. So that's okay because they're cute. They look like Wilbur the pig from Charlotte's Web. But the pink quartz in Mystical is like the perfect color for a pig. And since his name is Making Bacon, it kind of has that bacon look to it. Yep. So we had 3 of those done. Then I was I was telling Heather, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make some cows. I just am not in the mood to make all those parts, to make 4 legs, to make the ears, to make horns. I just was not in the mood to do all that. So Heather sent April a message saying that I'm in the need to make some quick cows. And April sent me her Cash the Cow pattern. So, and we all know, I am not really a loaf animal pattern lover. Now, Making Bacon, he's a loaf, but pigs are kind of loaf shape. In my mind, pigs are like really the only acceptable thing for that because they don't really have like a neck per se. I mean, they do, but they don't. You know what I mean? They look like a loaf. So anyways, April sent me her cow, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it because it is no-sew, and you're not having to make a bunch of parts. You only have to make the ears, and then everything else is you make as you go. So I started off with this one, and it is the solid color version. I did it black and white. And I know most people would probably do this pink or tan, but I did it black. And I got him just a little bit crooked. Just a little bit. And I found, cleaning this room, that I dropped and Sam decided to run off with. And you can't see the color on here. That is so annoying. Anyways, I found that. So that's the eyes I used on this one. It's not too far off. It is a little, I can see on the snout, I got it twisted a little bit. So I did a second one, and this time I paid closer attention to that to make sure, if at all possible, that I do not do that again. And I did not. So what I had to do is the round where you're going to attach the ears is also the same round as the first bobble, I believe. Or it is, no. Did the legs come first? Gosh, I don't remember now. Maybe the legs came first. I don't remember. But anyways, I had to adjust my round by 2 stitches. And I just reset the start to 2. Because it was like do 17 single crochets and then you're getting to the first ear. And it would have had my nose going, cockeyed again. So I had to adjust by 2 stitches. And then I just readjusted the start. And then after that, everything was falling where it should. So both of these are done in the chenille brights, but as you can see from these, the rust was a much thicker yarn than the white. It's the same amount of rounds, same hook size, but it's not as thick, and this one came out a little bit longer. And you probably can't see it, but it has pink eyes, because that's what I had sitting there. So I used pink eyes. it is cute. I will admit it is cute. Hopefully they sell. It was much easier than, I mean, I was looking at all my cow patterns. And I'm like, I want to make Stacy's pint size one, but at the same time, today, I was not in the mood to make all those parts. I just was not. Was not. So when that showed up in my email, I was like, all right, I'll try it. We'll see what happens. So thank you very much, April, for sending me that pattern to try. And that is what I have. That is everything that I got made all week long. And I did not count. I do not want to pull them out of the basket to count. Here is the basket. It is overflowing. And then some on my table over here. And I promise next time the lighting will be much better. I will have figured it out, hopefully. Hopefully. Okay, so I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 more days that I can actually crochet something. Because Thursday, that's my day where I'm probably going to do all my pricing and put it into Square and charge all my lights and everything for Friday. So Thursday can be a little hectic. Once I get everything done, then I can crochet. Because it really, once I sit down to do it, because there's only a couple of things that I have to put in the system other than just updating my quantity and putting a tag on these. There's only a few that has to be completely put in. So it shouldn't be too bad. But so I have 4 more days to get things done for 2 markets. I need a Zen moment. I am not stressing. I am not stressing. I will not stress over this at all. I just want my baskets to be full. That's all. Just want my baskets to be full. All right, you guys, I will see you Monday night on my channel for Heather and our joint live that we do together on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we will see you then.